Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see next to me, I have the classic, the iconic Atari 2600. Well, okay, one of the various models of the Atari 2600 anyway, and today in this video, we're going to be giving this thing a bit of a restoration, a little bit of TLC. As you can see, this thing's very dirty and nasty looking. It needs a little bit of scrubbing to get back up to presentable, and also needs a little bit of repair to fix this very jankly and duct taped coaxial cable. So, let's just get it started with this, because this is also the beginning of a few other Atari 2600 based project videos that I have coming down in the works, because, well, all three of the Atari 2600s that I have in my collection need a little bit of attention. So let's just talk about it real quick and then we can go from there. Alright, so to clarify what I'm talking about, well, why I have three Atari 2600s when realistically the average sane collector would only need one. And also what I mean by all three of them that I have need different stages of work done to them. Well, for one, the Atari 2600, if you're into retro consoles, this is one of the easiest and, well, cheapest ones to find and kind of collect for. You can find these things dang near anywhere. They were produced from 1977 up to, I believe, 1992 in various different appearances. This one being the all black model, and then you have the more iconic wood grain, and then you have the very weird Atari 2600 Junior, which tried to modernize the look a little bit, but the hardware internally was not really changed all that much, which is why I happen to have three Atari 2600s. They were basically, one of them was my dad, so I got that one for free, and then the other two that I have were basically free as well. They just stumbled across them. The games are pretty cheap, controllers are cheap to find, power adapters are cheap, and you can find them, like I said, anywhere. So if you're into retro consoles and you want to start going back a little bit in time, maybe you collect an N64, you want to go a little bit further back, again, it's already here, stupidly easy and cheap to find. And it's because of that, again, these are very easy consoles to get working again, as long as the main chips are working. There's recap kits for them. You can find plethora of information forums about how to diagnose video chips and sound chips. For the most part, most of the motherboards, from model to model are about the same, as long as they're, within the same design aesthetic, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, as for what I mean by all three of mine need different things, we're going to start with this one in this video, which is the Vader model 2600. Why is it called the Vader model? Well, as you can see here, it's all black, much like Darth Vader, which is why these were given the nickname the 2600 Vader. This is in contrast to the much more iconic wood grain models that came both before it and after it. There's actually three different models of the wood grain. You have this one, which is the 4-switch wood grain. You also have the heavy 6 and the light 6 wood grains, which basically just have 6 switches up top instead of 4. And obviously, in terms of collectability and desirability and value, they're all over the place in terms of that. In regards to this one, though, we're going to be giving this one a good scrubbing of the case, get all the nasties off of it. We're going to be doing something with this damaged and busted coaxial cable, which slides into my next thing with a future project, which is my dad's original Atari, which is now mine. Even though in a future video I did clean it up and replace the coaxial cable, I'm going to be taking that coaxial cable out and put it in this one to get this one back up to fully functional. My dad's is going to be getting a full recap kit, and it's basically going to stay the way it is. This one luckily doesn't have any paint I have to worry about trying to match. My dad's has a little bit of chip paint, some scuffs, but it's staying the way it is. It's all history and it's all sentimental value to me, so obviously I want to keep it as it is. Minus the recapping, which will make it last a little bit longer. Now, you may be thinking, well, wait, why are you going to disable your dad's old one? Are you going to composite mod it? No, I'm not touching or modding my dad's. That's where this third Atari comes in. This one has a fully intact and original coaxial cable. So when I get to doing this one, this coaxial cable is going into my dad's, and this one is going to be my modded console. This one's going to be fully scrubbed, fully restored externally, and we're also going to be doing a few mods to it. Composite mod, the LED power mod. I might even take this vinyl switch decal off and get one custom printed with custom artwork, and maybe a few other little tweaks to it. But this one is going to be my future project for modding. So this one's going to be a lot of fun in the future. It just needs a lot more work than this one, because this one, believe it or not, is even nastier than this one. So we got a game plan for my 3 Ataris, and yes, I'm not crazy. I have 3 Ataris. I mean, in a prior video from my Ataris, you saw that I tested 6 or maybe 7 of them. The others I actually got from a retail, third-party retail thrift store, and they wanted them tested, and I did it for exchange for this. So I basically, my time was used to get this one. Let's just stick to this one, get it torn apart, and get to work on it. So let's just get started. All right, so here is the Atari 2600 Vader, and as you probably saw before, yeah, it's all black. Gloss black here. We got the Atari 2600 logo here. We have the decal up here, which has no paint on it. So the wood grain ones have like an orangish color here around the border. And I think I'm crazy here, but I think this is, the text here is a little bit more of a yellowish orange instead of orange. But yeah, as you saw, it's actually fairly dirty. These are some of the easiest consoles to tear apart. It's literally just 4 Phillips screws. Unlike modern consoles, in which you could void the warranty because they don't want you to work on your own stuff. Well, in case anybody's kind of curious, manufactured by Atari Wong Company in Hong Kong. Model number is CX2600A, which I think they all have that model number. But serial number, this is a big one, 568592181. Oh, that's nasty. And look at that. The Atari 2600 main board. All right, and there we go. The tiny 2600 main board. This is revision 16 from 1980. So yeah, you can't see any of the video chip, sound chip, none of that, because it's all underneath this shield here, which is, I don't think it's soldered. I think it's, yeah, it's twist pinned in. So we're not gonna take that off right now. But yeah, just needs a little bit of scrubbing, and it should be well, just fine. We even have the original factory piece of paper here that has some information on it, which I can't read because it's all faded. The video cable, it's pretty long enough. I wish it could be fixed, but yeah, somebody did this to it, and it's just it's not fixable right anymore. So let's get that out of here. All right, quite dirty, so we're gonna go soak this stuff in some simple green and get it scrubbed. All right, so while that's drying, I'm going to take the replacement cable I put into my dad's here and, well, get it ready to put into this one. So you're probably wondering, well, hey, wait, why am I disabling my dad's temporarily? And why don't I just fix the Vader one up and have it set up as a display? Which it will be, it'll be a display model too. But I would like it to be functional. And with that bad video cable, it'll make it kind of a pain in the butt to get working and made functional for any future videos. The other thing is, it's a good idea to have a spare, especially of a console that you have memories of. I have a few fond memories of the Atari here playing with my dad, so obviously I want to keep this one good and working, which is why I'm going to recap it. But there's always a chance that it could fail, and, well, yeah, I could play the Atari games on emulators and other hardware, but this way, if my dad's does fail permanently for any reason, I have another Atari 2600 that I can just pop my dad's original games in and keep playing them and not stumble on it. So it's a silly reason, yes, and it's kind of a first world problem, I'll admit, but it's still a problem, I guess, to think about in the future. And there we go. My dad's is now disabled with no video cable. I do plan on addressing that in the future. Like I said, I'm not going to leave this thing disabled. It's going to be a display piece for a little bit until I get this other Atari torn apart, and then that cable put in here, and then that one composite modded, and this Atari. Yeah, like I said, it's a convoluted video project series I'm doing, but it'll all work out in the end. I hope. Okay, so it's been a few days, but I've got a nearly fully scrubbed up and cleaned up Atari 2600 Vader shell. I'll explain that here in a second. I have this scrubbed and cleaned up Atari 2600 mainboard, which is looking nice and pretty. And I even have a replacement coaxial cable to replace the, well, jankily, I don't even know if this is a repair or a mod, because somebody cut it, stripped it, and duct taped basically this later, I think it's either F connector or J connector. I don't remember what it's actually called. The threaded one that's on the back of most modern televisions for the threaded antenna, because using the pin style one and the switch box sometimes it's kind of a pain in the butt to do. I mean, I get it, but God, it just looks so crappy. So we're gonna put this one in there. And for clarification, I think I mentioned it a couple days ago. I don't know, I'll have to go back and look at my footage. This one is the one that I put in my dad's original Atari, that's now mine, because its coaxial cable was bitten in half by my dad's old dog way back in the day, and they duct taped it together. There's a theme here with Atari 2600s and broken coaxial cables, I swear. So yes, my original one is down for the count at the moment. Like I said, this is the first of a mini several part Atari 2600 series, in that this one's getting restored, that one's going to get recapped and made to work, and then this one over here is going to be my restored and modded one once I get things going for it. But anyway, yes, it has been a few days since I started this little, what was supposed to have been a really simple project, and that's because this thing I had to scrub like 3 or 4 times. I let this top section here soak in a container of hot water and really a lot of simple green to try and get this stuff loosened up, and I scrubbed the absolute crap out of it with stiff brushes, and it cleaned up very well for the most part. There's still one little spot here. I don't know what was on this, but it's like just absorbed into this rough plastic, and it did not want to come out very good. And I don't want to scrub too hard with like a I've also said Melanox, that's not right, melamine magic eraser. I don't want to scrub hard and remove the texture. So I'm gonna have to scrub it a little bit once I get it back together. I'm gonna scrub it a little bit better. But for right now, it looks a heck of a lot better. And side note with that, I wasn't imagining things. The font and coloring of the top decal up here next to the switches are vastly different than the wood grain models. It's a different color and it's a different font, which I actually did not realize. So I guess there was more different than meets the eye when it came to the Vader and the wood grains. Alright, and now for the main board. This thing has been scrubbed with some rubbing alcohol, a toothbrush, and some Q-tips, and it looks so much better now, and I can actually touch it without feeling gross. I do want to mention, or clarify I guess, that no, I did not recap this in this video, or even for this video. The first reason is because, well, it works. It worked quite a few months ago when I tested that entire stack of Ataris way back when. So I know it does work. Sound and video works, so I have no problems there. So there's really not a real need to recap this one just yet. However, I will mention that I am going to recap this, but I want to wait to recap it until I can do the other 2. My main thought process is I want to get the 3 cap kits I need for the 2 wood grains and this Vader model, and recap them all at the same time. That way they're all done at the same time. That way I'm not trying to second guess, wait, did I recap this? Did I not recap this? What cap did I replace? Did I replace this part or not? No, I just want to do them all at the same time. So when I take the other 2 wood grains apart, my dad's, to put this video cable into it and to recap it, and then recap this one so that I can start modding it. This one's going to be recapped as well. That way they're all 3 on level starting ground, and they're all 3 good. So yeah, that's kind of why I didn't recap it in this video, was just I want to do all 3 at the same time. That way there's not a confusion or a list that needs to be kept of, oh, well, the Vader got this cap and this cap, and then this one got a voltage regulator, and that one. No, I just want them all done at the same time. So let's get this thing put back together and put back in its spot where my dad's was, and see if it works. Okay, so change of plans. I'm actually not going to put the top cover on yet, because I want to plug this thing into power and into my TV, and I want to see if it works before I put the top cover on. I know it did before, but that was several months ago, and hopefully this didn't just turn out to be a waste of time on this video. Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. Let's not zap myself because I have exposed circuitry. Yes, it still works. But good Lord, that is a lot of interference. I don't know if you can see that. What's causing that interference? Atari's off. So what's causing causing some interference. Oh no. You can see that, right? Okay, so to kind of explain what's going on, at least what I think's going on anyway. Hopefully somebody can better explain this than I can. So I think there's a hardware difference between the 2600, or between the Vader motherboard here and the wood grain motherboard. And that difference is actually not completely obvious except for right now. The port that the coaxial cable, the coaxial cable plugs into, that end right there, I don't know if you can see it, it kind of looks like an all metal RCA connector, because it kind of is. So both of them have them on the motherboard where the antenna wire here, the coaxial wire, plugs into. But I think that one is a deeper connection than this one. I think this one's too shallow. And if you look, that center pin is not protruding all that much out from the ground ring there. So what I think is going on is this is not making very good ground contact. I mean, hence when I put my finger on the ground side and on the barrel of the motherboard port, it cleans up and looks perfect, just like the wood grain does. So I think this one has a shallower port. Now the problem with that is the cable I decided to use to fix the wood grain one and now this one, the center pin is too long, so it's not allowing to make good contact. And because of how cheap it is, I don't know if I can cut or grind that center pin down enough in order to make it not also have contact with positive and the ground side at the same time and clean this image up. I don't know. I wish I would have thought of that before I started this whole endeavor. So now, well, now I kind of want to know what the video quality difference is if I use the original cable here. So I might end up going back to this. I'm gonna try it out real quick. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, the original cable looks a lot better. So, well, I guess we're not going to do one repair on this one. We're going to be putting this original cobbled together coaxial cable back in and just going from there, because that's kind of annoying. Okay, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, well, this isn't going to plan. As you can see beside me, I have the Atari 2600 Vader model here, all the way put back together, cleaned up, and looking fantastic with its all black design. And as you can see over here, it's functioning perfectly too, with a nearly crystal clear image. The annoying part is this was supposed to be the repaired cable that would go in it, and instead it's got its original damaged, cobbled, modded, whatever you want to call it, coaxial cable back in it. Which is really annoying because it does change my original plans for what I wanted to get done with these 3 Ataris in the near future with the other videos that I had planned. Because my original plan was this DIY coaxial cable out of my original Atari was supposed to go into this one. This cable was going to get thrown away. The cable from the third one was going to go into my original one. That third one was going to be composite modded. That way I'd have a composite modded one I can use for direct capture gameplay for, say, streaming or something, or better to catch gameplay, I guess, and just have some fun with modding up pieces of my console. My original one, which was my dad's, I wanted to leave as original as I could with, you know, the factory style coaxial cable and all that kind of stuff. That way it's for nostalgic purposes. And this one was going to be kind of a hybrid sorts of display while also being used until I could get my original one back up to working with the video game. But obviously things have changed, because this video cable will not work with the Vader model here, and it's because I think there is a hardware difference between the two main boards, like I said just a few minutes ago. The socket that this plugs into, which is identical to an RCA one, I think is shallower on this one than on the other wood grain one, because this center pin here, which is the video signal, is longer on this one than the coaxial I took out of here, which means it's further away from the ground barrel, which this ground barrel section did not touch the ground on that connector what it does on the wood grain. And as you can see, the image quality on this is fantastic for being, well, coaxial based. So, not sure what I'm going to do to rectify this situation. The main reason is because I don't really want to composite mod this Vader one. That would involve me drilling holes in the case, and I really don't want to do that. The only time I would is if I had a spare shell, at least a bottom section shell, because the bottoms I think are all the same, is take this bottom off and put a spare one on it and then drill holes for that one for composite mod. That way I can revert it back to original coaxial for any reason, should I go to sell it, trade it, whatever in the future, because obviously me having 3 Atari 2600s at any time, you know, is just kind of silly. But with that being said, the original plans are still going to happen. My my third one over there is going to be the modded one with the composite mod, the LED mod. I think I might actually do some cool cosmetic mods to it. Maybe powder coat the switches a different color. Maybe paint that border instead of being orange. Maybe the channel color of light blue. Maybe see if there's a way to wire in like a small LED strip or something without causing too much of a power problem or interference, and that way it kind of lights up internally when it's on. I think that'd be kind of like I said, there's a lot of cool things I could do with that Atari, and it's a perfect console to do it because they're so dirt cheap and easy to find. Clearly, because I have 3 of them down here, and at one point I had 7 that I tested. And then also with that, my dad's is going to get the video cable from that one and getting it back up to snuff, and then all 3 of them are going to be recapped. That way they're all refreshed and ready to go for the next 40 years, ideally, if everything goes well. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. Really hope you enjoyed what should have been a quick and somewhat easy restoration of an iconic console, which quickly spiraled into it taking several days with it being just extremely dirty, and also going off the rails with a issue I'm glad I power tested before I fully screwed it back together. Because again, I had no idea that this was going to be a issue. It worked with the wood grain, why wouldn't it work with this one? Be on the lookout in the future for a lot more console-based videos, especially involving the Ataris here. Like I said, I have at least 1 or 2 more videos that are going to be involved just specifically with these machines. One's going to be nothing but recapping all 3 of them and getting them all back up to refreshed and new. And then there's going to be a video of me doing a bunch of internal and hopefully cosmetic mods to one of them as well. That's going to be a lot of fun once I get around to that. Also going to look out for some more future computer-based videos, including I have a backup NAS server plan that I'm going to be building here in the next few days. And also, hopefully, maybe trying out a few more little experimental things with some Linux distros. So, I'm going to look out for that. And again, any thoughts or comments about this entire video, put it down in the comments section, and I'll respond to them in a hopefully timely fashion. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.